Hello everyone, Argsy here. Today Giants have dropped some new information which answers a whole heap of questions about the other new crop for Farming Simulator 25, that is spinach. So let's take a look and see what we know. Starting out, what does the blog have to say? It's a preview of the new crop spinach, and it starts out full of nutrients, presumably of ancient Persian origin, the subject of a culinary myth for its actually not so high iron content, and Popeye's favourite, spinach. It's also coming to Farming Simulator 25. Let's take a look at the leafy green crop, as it does offer some unique things to keep in mind on your virtual fields. The blog goes on to say, spring and summer are spinach seasons. In March or April, you take your seeder and put out about 10 litres of seed per hectare to look forward to a yield of about 23,100 litres in return. With an average selling price of $660 per 1,000 litres, you need to be ready to harvest in June. Mind that, you need a specialised harvester here, the Oxbow MKB 4TR. If you're not wasting any time, you can actually harvest spinach twice a season. To do that, you've got to sow it right in March, wait for it to mature, harvest it right away in June, and watch it grow again. Don't forget to apply your usual yield improvement like you do with other crops. Doing everything right and in time, you'll see those growth stages that slightly differ in the second cycle. As it is common among crops like spinach, the first growth stage after harvesting it the first time appears a bit more bushy. Helps to easier keep track of all your spinach fields visually. And it finishes up, remember the words of one of our favourite sailors, "You're strong to the finish, 'cause you eats your spinach." Well, harvest it at least, and sell it before it withers, will you? So there we go, that's what Giants has shared about the new crop spinach. A few things to take away from that. So what does this all mean? First up, let's take a look at the art of growing spinach. In optimal conditions, spinach can be harvested twice in a season, so long as it's planted at the earliest possible time, and then the first harvest is completed as soon as it's ready. Planted in March, harvest in June, growing again in July, and harvestable again in September, all without having to replant. Now, apart from grass, this is really the first crop to allow multiple harvests in a calendar year. Sugarcane and poplar will regrow, but not to allow 2 harvests per year. It's interesting to see the variety of textures and the start of the second growth cycle being visually different. First time we've seen something like that. Also, the density of the crop as it grows does look fantastic. It looks really full across the whole field, which is nice to see. So moving on, how is spinach planted? Well, from the images, it appears a standard seeder can be used. In the screenshot provided, we can see a John Deere, possibly a 7R looking at the roof in mirror shape, pulling a new to the game piece of equipment, the Agromaz Aquila Drive 400. Now, Agromaz is a Polish manufacturer that we have had in the game previously, while the Aquila Drive 400 seeder is a new piece of equipment. From the Agromaz website, it is a 4 meter wide seeder, so assuming that's what the 400 relates to, and has a capacity of 2,800 litres, so it'll be interesting to see whether those statistics do carry over into the game. So you've planted your spinach, it's grown, and it's ready to harvest. It's time to call in the Oxbow MKB 4TR self-propelled spinach harvester. Now this machine looks like a cross between a beet harvester and a combine, with a reel header up front and a large overloading bin at the back. Now this bin will mean no unloading on the move, but does help when using workers when compared to some of the other root crop equipment, just by having a capacity on the equipment. Time will tell whether there will be other options. There is a huge variety of ways to harvest spinach, including smaller self-propelled and towed harvesters, so some different options there would be great. From what I've looked at on Google, I can't find any that are of brands that are already in game, so it would potentially require an additional brand or a new brand to be able to provide that, but it does open up some more avenues there for modders to try and come up with some different ways to harvest spinach, which could be interesting to see as the game develops. Now, we have been given some information which will give a clue as to the profitability of spinach. Only requires 10 litres of seed per hectare, so a very low seed usage there, and produces 23,600 litres of crop per hectare. So at an indicated sale price of $660 per 1,000 litres, you stand to earn about $15,500 per hectare, or about $6,300 per acre, depending on which unit of measure you want to be using. Of course, you can double that if you can manage to get the harvesting twice a year, so there is potential to be a rich spinach farmer. So, short and sweet, but that's what we know about spinach. As we've said before, it is great to see another new crop coming with Farming Simulator 25. The diversity of crop types in the game is really starting to grow, excuse the pun. It will be interesting to see if there are any other further surprises on the crop fronts. Also going to be interesting to see how spinach might be used in production chains, if there's any custom productions like the soup and preserves in Sri Lanka, or something else completely new. I've taken a bit of time and pored over the images just to see if there's anything else we can gain about Riverbend Springs. The focus on these has really been on the spinach here, and there's not too much really to see in the background. Now, a reminder that you can pre-order Farming Simulator 25 right now. If you do that through the Giant store, you can use our partner code ArgsyGaming to help support the channel at no additional cost to you. So there we are, we know a little bit more about spinach. I think it's answered a few questions, but probably gone and posed a few more, which is always nice to have. Always good to have some questions and have things to look forward to as we learn more about the game and what Giants are going to be sharing with us. Who knows what else we might find out. Now, I hope you found this video informative. As always, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Hey, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty darn good. Is it missing something? You're too cute to eat. Maybe some fresh spinach for a change?